It's time for Show Off Sunday, where everyone has a chance to show off their own car, and here's this week's winner.
This is my 2008 Fiat 500 Sport.
Well, first of all, you'll notice the Abarth decals. If you look closer, you'll find out that the alloy wheels are the Abarth originals. The bodywork looks a bit funky, and if you listen to it, this isn't the normal 500 sound. Well, that's because me and my dad have installed a bunch of Abarth original parts on it. Some functional, like the exhaust, adjustable suspension and a lip spoiler, and some just cosmetic like the bumpers and side skirts. Trunk space on a 500, as you might imagine, is minimal to say the least, but the back seats, and yes, this car has back seats, can fold down. I once fitted like 6 bags of wood chips in here with the seats up. Continuing with the interior, everything in here is plastic and pretty low quality since this is a Fiat. Here I have the standard 500 Sports front and back seats, which were an upgrade from the standard 500 seats back in 2008. Here are some cup holders, the e-brake, climate control settings and a standard 500 radio, which I intend to replace with a touchscreen version in the future. Now this car doesn't have a glove box, instead it has this compartment for storing stuff, which is very small. So you might ask, where do I stick my owner's manual and documents? Well, you can stick it right under the passenger seat, which you can imagine can be a bit tricky if you get pulled over with a passenger. Since we are on the topic of seats, the seats are manually operated and can be slid front or back, raised and lowered, as well as folded down to allow passengers to get in the back. When you're seated in the front seat, you have this bulky looking steering wheel in the front of you with controls for the radio, voice operated functions, Bluetooth calling and shuffling songs, as well as adjusting stereo volume. In the gauge cluster there is a rev meter, a speedometer, fuel and engine temperature display, and in the center here you have a menu screen. Shuffling to the menus, there's the standard stuff like trips, mileage, gas consumption, and a funny thing called speed beep, which you can set a certain speed, and if you go over it, the car will beep. If you were alert, you might have seen that I missed the sport button. Well, that's because it's best shown on the road. Now, driving the 500, it's very rough because of the stiff sporty suspension, so I apologize for the shaky footage. The steering is responsive, the clutch is even all the way through, which I like. The stick is a bit stuff, but I found that it helps with not missing a gear, and it actually automatically softens up the next correct gear to help you shift. Another thing that surprises me about this 500 is that it has hill assist, which means if you're starting on a hill, stick it in first, hold the clutch and depress the brake pedal. The car will hold itself on an incline for a certain amount of time, allowing you to start without rolling back. Now this car from the factory made 101 horsepower, which is not bad especially compared to the weight of the thing. But to unlock its true potential you have to press the sport button, which stiffens up the steering, makes the gas pedal more responsive and idles at a bigger rev range, all of which make this a fun bumpy little car. Now I would like to thank you the viewer for watching, and again Scotty Kilmer for featuring me on his channel. Have a great day folks.
Well, that was this week's video, and remember, to have your car video highlighted here on my channel, check this out! So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell!